Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome yet again to another episode of Dinner Guide. My name is Chef Andy, and today I've got something really interesting for you all. We're going to be focusing on a very simple to make dessert, which includes a bit of chocolate, and we're going to be turning that into a salted caramel chocolate tart. And for that I've got some ingredients which I'll introduce first off. So from the front I've got some unsalted butter, a bit of some vanilla essence, some thick whipping cream, a bit of some icing sugar. I've also got some beautiful chocolate that's been chopped up. I also have some homemade ginger cookies which we're going to be using for the tart, a bit of salt and a bit of sugar. You'll also require one plastic bag which you'll actually use to break the cookies in, and that will basically consist of all the items you'll need for this particular recipe. So we're going to slide into a short break now, and when we come back we're going to dive right into the preparation of this very, very simple pastry dish. So please don't touch that dial, we'll be right back. Welcome back ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who missed on the introduction, we're basically making a salted caramel chocolate tart, and we're going to start from the basics of the dish, which is basically the base. And for that you'll require some regular cookies. You can actually use some homemade cookies if you have any in store, or you can actually opt to use some digestive cookies, which most of you can be able to find in your regular retail stores. But for this particular recipe, I'm going to be using some homemade cookies which we made a little earlier in the show, and these are ginger cookies. So first off, we're going to start by breaking them up. So all you need to do now is transfer your cookies into the bag. So I'll be using just a few of those, and you're just going to proceed to start to break them up. Turn the bag once and proceed. Right, so once you've got a nice composition of some beautiful cookie crumbs, all you're going to do now is add those into a bowl. You can just reserve the rest. And now all you need to do to that is add some melted butter. So I've got some butter here in the dish which we're going to quickly melt in the microwave. And we'll be melting that for about 20 seconds. Right, so simple as that. Once you melted your butter, add that into your cookie crumble, and you can now proceed to mix everything together. Right, so once you've got your cookie mixture nice and ready, grab the dish that you're gonna be setting your dessert in. So I'm going to be using this particular rectangular glass dish, and all you need to do now is transfer your mixture into your dish. And next up, all you're going to do now is use your spoon to squeeze or press that mixture right to the bottom of the bowl, making sure to go around several times. while you try and achieve a very, very compact layer at the bottom there. And you can actually just continue to press right through the middle, allowing the excess to just sit on the sides of your dish. Right, so simple as that. Also, something also to pay attention to, always make sure to try and achieve a very leveled kind of layer right at the bottom of your dish. Remember, you don't want to have some layers really, some corners of your bowl a little higher than the other, because it will actually affect the way your dessert will set in your dish. And once that is done, you're basically going to now chill this in your fridge for about half an hour. So we're just going to throw this in the refrigerator. We're basically going to allow that to sit for a little bit. Next up, we're going to start off by making our caramel. So very, very simple technique to doing that. For that, I'll be using a bit of some white sugar, and I'll be measuring out about 1 cup of sugar, about 3/4 cups rather. So just measure out about 3/4 cup into your measuring spoon and just discard any excess. Now all you need to do now is add your sugar to the dish, to your pan, and now basically allow it to start caramelizing. It's a very, very simple technique. All you need to do is just allow a bit of time for your sugar to start melting in your pan. And you can actually move your pan around. This will actually give you a bit of advantage to melt your sugar a little faster. And while that continues, we're also going to get another pot of water going. And now this is basically where we're going to be melting our chocolate. So all you need to do at this stage is transfer your chocolate into a glass bowl. And you can actually substitute the glass bowl for a stainless steel bowl. If you do have one, it will still work the same. If you also have some beautiful plastic containers that can actually retain some heat over the fire, you can actually use those as well. But for this particular one, I'm going to be using the glass bowl. I particularly like this because they really conduct heat very well, and they can actually really continue to, you can actually be able to really control the temperature because the glass is thick. It does take a little time to heat up, but it can actually control the temperature of your melting chocolate really well. So we're going to start off by placing our bowl right on the top, and we're just going to allow the water to come to the simmer. On the other hand, we're just going to continue melting our sugar in the pan. And at this stage, we're going to just get some ingredients ready, which are going to aid us in making our chocolate filling. So to that, I'm going to measure out about half a teaspoon of salt. Just gonna clean that board quickly. So we're going to be incorporating just a bit of salt to our chocolate mixture once it starts to melt. I'm just going to use a wooden spoon to move the mixture around. That should take maybe anywhere between 4 to 5 minutes if you're melting about half a cup of chocolate. In the meantime, we've also got some caramel just melting away on the side. And all you need to do now is keep rotating your pan. And also you can also control the temperature of your pan by moving it on and off the heat. That should allow you to melt your caramel really slowly without actually burning your mixture. Just continue to move that around while placing it on and off the heat. I particularly like to use a non-stick pan because it particularly helps me to really melt my sugar evenly, and it actually you can actually be able to make your caramel without actually having to have to really struggle so much to get that sugar out of your pan much later. So a non-stick pan would be a very good option for this. Right, so as you can see, it's now turning into this muddy looking consistency. The color is now just nice and chocolatey. Just going to continue melting that sugar. Just allow that to continue. On the side, we're also going to continue to melt our chocolate. Making sure, of course, to control your temperature. And it's always very crucial to also continue to mix your chocolate, making sure that it doesn't burn and that it actually melts down really quickly. So you can actually just continue to mix that down with a spoon of your choice. Right, so our chocolate is just about turning into a ganache, and we're just starting to really break down those big chunks of chocolate. So just continue mixing right through. At this stage, we're also going to incorporate a bit of salt. Now, one particular beautiful thing about salt, especially with chocolate, it actually really gives it a bit of a sweetness. So it's also a very, very good addition to any chocolate dessert that you may be making. Now our caramel is now just nicely melted. We're just going to allow that to continue sitting on the pan for just a little bit, and just continue to take it on and off the heat. That should actually allow you to not let your caramel burn really, really quickly. Right, so your chocolate is now nice and melted. I'm just going to turn off the heat, but we're going to leave the bowl right there. Right, so next up, we're now going to start assembling now most of our filling. So I'm just going to allow the caramel to just cool off slightly. We're also going to allow our chocolate to sit on the side and just cool off slightly. And now I'm just going to grab our dish that we were actually resting in the fridge. And now the next step is basically to start filling in with all your ingredients. So first off, we're going to start with the caramel. But be sure to actually give it just a little bit of time to cool off. Continue to move your pan around. This should actually help your caramel to cool off a little faster. You can be able to see that nice, beautiful, rich color from the caramel. Right, now when that's slightly cooled off, just proceed to spread that over the bottom of the bowl, making sure to have the mixture sit right within the center of the dish. And just allow your caramel to just infuse with the cookie crumble mixture at the bottom. And one very important thing to always do after making some caramel, pour some hot water in your pan. And that should just basically allow the sugar to dissolve in there, and it actually makes it also a little easier to clean your pan immediately after that. So just a little bit of hot water in your pan and let it sit. It'll just continue to cool on its own. Now next up, we're just going to allow that to cool off really slowly. And to that, we're going to proceed to add a bit of cream to the mixture. And we're also going to add a bit of some vanilla essence. So I'm just going to proceed to add some vanilla into the chocolate. Just mix that through. And next, proceed to add your cream. Making sure to add little by little while continuously mixing. And this will actually allow you to mix the chocolate in with the cream really well, without actually turning your chocolate into a very gummy and thick consistency. So add your cream little by little. So we're going to use about half a cup to this mixture. And with about 200 grams of chocolate, so it should be about 125 grams of whipping cream, to about 250 grams of chocolate. That should give you a very, very good and rich ganache. Alright, so once you get to that stage, all you need to do now is begin to incorporate your icing sugar. So for that, I'll be using a strainer, which I'll be using to sift my icing sugar in there. That should actually make it a little easier for you to mix your icing sugar really well. And it also avoids adding any lumps of sugar in there that might not dissolve into your chocolate. So just proceed to mix, and you can actually use your fingers just to press your icing sugar right through the sieve. Just proceed to do so until all your sugar has gone right through your sieve and your strainer is completely free of any icing sugar particles or lumps. And now just proceed to mix that together. Right, so now as soon as you have all your sugar incorporated into your chocolate, all you're left to do now is add your mixture into the bowl, but very particular that you actually have a bit of a system while you do so. And this is very, very easy to do. So all you need to do now, your chocolate is now nice and runny. It should actually just run out of your bowl really easily. But what we'll do is we'll start by spreading the chocolate right around the caramel. So just start by going around the sides of your bowl, making sure to trap all that caramel right in the middle, and then proceed to go around until you've totally covered your caramel layer, finishing off right in the center of your dish. And using a spoon, proceed to add the rest of your mixture into your dish. And just take your time while doing so, making sure that you don't actually waste any of your chocolate mixture. And proceed until all your chocolate mixture is now in your glass bowl. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your chocolate tart is now ready to actually set in the fridge. So be sure to actually give it a bit of a shake, making sure to get that chocolate to spread right all the way to the sides, and just bang it over your counter just a few times before you actually set it in the oven, making sure that all your mixture is well set. And now this can actually sit in your refrigerator for anywhere between 5 to 6 hours, or you can actually chill that overnight, and this should actually be able to come out really, really easily. So we're going to actually now throw this in the fridge, and we're going to pull out one that we had done a little earlier, and you're going to be able to see that. But before we do so, we're going to slide into a short commercial break, and I'm going to chill this, and when we do come back, I'm going to pull out one that we had already done in advance, and we're just going to finish off by simply garnishing it and then just finishing off the dish. So please don't touch that dial. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who are just tuning in, we've just been working on a chocolate tart with a bit of salt and caramel. Now we're about to just take out what's ready and finish it off. So I'll just pull it out of the freezer. And as you can see, this one's now nice and set. We can now just proceed to finish this off. Now just grab a plate for that. And basically this is a very, very simple dish. I would just serve it in the bowl as it is, probably slice it on the dinner table. But of course we wouldn't leave it just barely naked as it is. So I would just probably grab a sieve and a bit of some icing sugar and just proceed to sprinkle that over the top, giving it a nice white finish. Just use your fingers to squeeze that little bit of icing out of the strainer there. Simple as that. And all we'll do now is probably grab some kitchen paper or kitchen towel and just clean the sides of your bowl. And just to give it a bit of an oomph, remember it is a beautiful season of love, I would probably just decorate my plate like that with a few rose petals. Just sprinkle those or spread those right around the edges of your plate, giving a nice beautiful presentation all around. And probably finish off by just breaking the stems just like that, and just finish off with a nice beautiful rose decoration right in the middle like that. So ladies and gentlemen, that is a very, very simple technique of just finishing off and making your own very own salt caramel chocolate tart. I hope you've actually enjoyed seeing how it's done, and I hope you're all looking forward to trying this yourselves at home. But from the studios, I thank you so much once more for tuning in today. I will also recommend for you to check out our Facebook page. There's a lot of stuff there to see. You can also now leave your comments, your inquiries, or any questions pertaining this particular episode, and my producers and I will definitely be looking forward to getting back to you. So I will thank you so much for your feedback. Thank you so much for being with us, and until the next episode where we continue to bring you some very, very beautiful dishes for this particular beautiful month of love, this particular month of February. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until the next episode, see you soon.